On the toilet at my work, dropping big mushy brown warm logs for my colon on company time, I had an idea for a game before the theme had even been decided. Fish with guns. I had been hoping mutation or tiny creatures would win for the theme. Under pressure would work too, I guess, but that one never had a shot. We didn't even know Ludum Dare was happening. Yes, I say Ludum Dare. I think it's pronounced Ludum Dare, but I'm not saying that. I'm just not saying that. We didn't even know Ludum Dare was happening until I checked on a whim the day before it started. My classic Ludum senses had tingled. This is my 5th time participating in Ludum Dare. I was there for Ludum Dares 43, 44, 48, and 52, but each time we set our sights too high and didn't end up making anything worth submitting. So Axel, Autotrophian on all platforms, and I set out to participate in Ludum Dare for our 4th time as a duo, on a noble quest to finally actually put out something. When the theme was announced to be tiny creatures, I knew it was time to lock in. Axel specializes in creatures. We immediately got to brainstorming. I'll leave who came up with what ideas anonymous, but the color coding was done by me. Once we had decided I was right all along, we started working on our fish game. This was probably faster than we decided on an idea in any game jam we've ever done, aided by the fact that the idea I already had fit with the theme, which is another Ludum Dare first for us. After sending Axel this Google Images picture of a piranha face, we were off to the races. There were a lot of renditions of our main character that were lost to not being saved in the frenzy of us keeping up our momentum, but once we decided on this guy, he never changed again. We added muzzle flashes that don't look anything like how a gun looks shooting underwater, and a tracer that doesn't look anything like a gun shooting underwater. Stylization is for those with extra time, and we aren't known for having extra time. A good portion of this was spent making and balancing the enemies. Axel made a lot of animations, and I hadn't touched Game Maker since January of 2023, so I was a bit out of practice. The last 2 days of Ludum Dare were kind of a blur. At one point I went hiking with my girlfriend and saw Joker Foley Doo-Doo for the first and last time in theaters, but I was more than happy to call out sick from work the next day to make up for lost time. The music, made by me, Churchgasm on all platforms, and the star-based scoring was added hurriedly in the last couple of hours, and as nearly every single comment on our LD Jam page will tell you, we didn't have time to add sound effects. Part of me knew how important sound effects were to the catharsis you feel when you maim one of these poor innocent creatures God designed, and thought I should just throw some in, and another part of me knew the game would be ruined if I phoned in the sound effects, so I just put music in and opted out of audio-based ratings to keep the 5 out of 5 I'm sure we'll have when rating is over. All that aside, this game has us very inspired and we will be updating it regularly. We already have plenty of plans for new game modes, new enemies, and of course sound effects. The next update will have sound effects. To those of you that were following our development of My Dad's Tower and were excited to play that game, we're sorry. There's plenty more fish in the sea, and we plan on adding a whole lot of them to this game, which we like a whole lot more. And unlike My Dad's Tower, you can play this game right now. It's out on itch.io, and you can play it in browser as a web game or download it if you want to savor the flavor. Make sure to subscribe to this channel to keep up with Right to Bear Fin's updates, and if you also made a game for Ludum Dare 56, go rate our game 5 stars in all categories except audio. Sound effects in the next update. Thanks for watching.